Hello friends, my name is Smruti Vasavda and today we are going to start with the fourth module, that is legal and ethical issues in compensation. In this module, we will be studying about the legal framework of compensation in India and also the ethical issues faced by the organization in compensation management. Let us first talk about the wage policy in India. Wages are more than cash compensation and include any return on labor, such as goods that the workers may produce for themselves, return of any kind, or even enjoyment that one gets from the work. The issues of wage policies are growing in India. Wage policies at organizational level are designed considering the regulatory framework and organizational strategies. Let us now talk about the objectives of a sound wage policy. There are various objectives of a sound wage policy, such as decide on an appropriate wage. There has to be a mutual consent of both the parties, that is employer and employee, to decide on a sound wage structure of the organization. The organization must follow a particular wage theory that we had studied in the previous chapter to decide on a particular wage of the employees. The next objective is establish cordial labor relation. The relation between the employer and employee has to be in the good terms. There has to be a cordial labor relation, or there has to be a good relation between the employer and employee. The next objective is provide for incentive management. Each and every employee demands or they expect something from the organization other than the basic salary, and anything apart from the basic salary is included in incentive. So it is the responsibility of the organization to provide incentive from time to time to each and every employees in the organization. The next objective is develop wage structure that can attract talent. The organization has to see that they develop a competitive wage structure that attract competent labor and also attract talent in the organization, because monetary benefits are one of the factors that motivates the employees. The next objective is maintain parity of wages with other organizations. It is the responsibility of the organization or the employer to maintain a parity of wages. Parity of wages means there has to be a comparable wage paid between the two organizations in the same employment market. They have to pay wages according to the market rate or according to the going rate. The next objective is establish link between wage payments and performance. The wage has to be paid according to the performance. In the earlier chapters, we had studied various factors determining the wages, such as the piecework plan or the standard plan or any other Scanlon plan, which states that the performance of the organization or of the employees should be linked with the efforts and should be linked with the rewards. So there has to be a direct link between the rewards or the wages and the performance. The next objective is guarantee minimum wages. Minimum wages is a term, or it is the basic wage that each and every employee in the organization must get to survive or to maintain a basic standard of living and to fulfill his basic necessities. So each and every organization must guarantee and must provide minimum wages to each and every employees in the organization. The next objective is develop a predetermined scheme for payment of wages. We had spoken about various plans related to the wages in earlier chapters. So each and every organization has to see that they follow at least one of those plans to prepare or to determine a predetermined scheme of payment of wages. So they have to decide the payment of wages in advance before recruiting or before committing a particular wage to the employees. Let us now talk about the factors that helps in determining the salary and wages distribution. The first factor is skills. Skill is considered as one of the most important factors for providing wages and salary to the employees. Skill is directly or indirectly connected with the performance. So skill is one of the factors that determines the salary and wages of the employees. The next factor includes job requirements. Job requirements is the another factor that determines the salary and wages of the employee. So here the payment of wage or salary would be less as compared to the manual work, because the manual work cannot be replaced by technology. So if a particular work gets replaced by technology, the requirement for that job or requirement of a person doing that job gets automatically less. The next feature or the next factor is productivity. Productivity or performance of the employee has a direct link with the rewards or with the salary and wages. So each and every organization monitors the productivity or the performance of their employees and accordingly pay wages to them. The next factor includes psychological and sociological factors. Psychological and sociological factors includes the geographical location or other personal characteristic on the basis of which the organization decides the payment of wages. The next factor includes cost of living. As I said, each and every organization has to guarantee minimum wages to their employees. They also have to see that each and every employee in their organization are able to maintain a minimum standard of living and able to afford the cost of living or the minimum cost of living. The next factor includes supply and demand of labor. If there is high supply of labor and if there is no demand of such labor, the pay for such category would be less. Whereas there is a very high demand of a particular category of labor and the supply is very less, the pay for such category would be high. The next factor includes trade unions. Trade unions play a very important role in the bargaining of salary and wages from the employee's side. So they play a very important role in bargaining or giving a pay raise to the employees. Let us now move to the next topic, that is legal framework of compensation in India. The first act is the Payment of Bonus Act 1965. The Government of India constituted the Bonus Commission on 6 December 1961. The Payment of Bonus Act came into force on 25th October 1965. This act has 40 sections and 4 schedules. The objective of this act is to maintain peace and harmony among labor and capital by allowing the employees to share the prosperity of the organization that is reflected by profits. Talking about the applicability of this act is applicable to all the factories and establishments which employs not less than 20 employees on any day in a particular financial year. So basically, this act is applicable to any factory or organization which has more than 20 employees in a particular financial year. Talking about the calculation of bonus. Bonus is calculated on various steps. The first step includes calculating the gross profit. The next step includes deducting the prior charges to arrive at the available surplus. The last step includes the bonus is to be paid from the available surplus, which can be 60% or 67%. It depends on the organization. Talking about the eligibility of bonus, each and every employee in the particular organization is eligible for getting a bonus if he has worked for a period not less than 30 days in any financial year. Talking about the amount of bonus, minimum bonus has to be 8.33% or rupees 100 if the age of employee is less than 15 years, and if it is more than 15 years, it should be 8.33% or 60 rupees. The maximum bonus which the organization can pay is 20%. Talking about the time limit for payment of bonus, each and every organization has to pay bonus within 8 months from the close of accounting year. Talking about the mode of payment of bonus, there has to be an agreement between the employer and employee for the payment or for the grant of bonus. There are various exemptions to this act. The exemptions includes the Reserve Bank of India, Industrial Development Bank of India, Unit Trust of India, various universities and educational institutes, or Deposit Insurance Corporation, etc. So basically, the Payment of Bonus Act is not applied to all these organizations or to all these corporations. Let us now move to the next act, that is Equal Remuneration Act 1976. Equal Remuneration Ordinance was replaced by Equal Remuneration Act 1976. This act came into force on 11th March 1976. The objective of this act is to provide equal remuneration to both men and women workers and prevention of discrimination on the basis of sex. Equal remuneration is the responsibility of the employer to provide equal wages to both men and women workers doing the same or similar kind of job. The Act prohibits any discrimination against women not only during recruitment but also during employment, which includes during promotion, during training, development, or during transfer. The administration of this Act is done by a special advisory committee. The appropriate government may appoint one or more advisory committee. The appointed authority may have all the powers of civil code under the Code of Civil Procedure 1908. There are various exemptions to the Equal Remuneration Act, which includes any special treatment is accorded to women in connection with birth or expected birth of a child. The next exemption includes if the appropriate government is satisfied that the difference made is on the factors other than sex.